afternoon, everyone. My name is Thabang Boya, and I'm from Fusion Attire. The locomotive that you are seeing here showcases the small mining town that I grew up in. My mother moved there back in 2000. She was a tailor. She used to sell her products to the local mining community. Fast forward to 2016, the mine closed, BCL mine. She didn't have any means to sustain herself, and we had to look for other means. And I came to realize if a market could just vanish overnight, because 28,000 people had to move out of Piquet, so she now couldn't sell her products. If a market could be so volatile, what could be the problem? I came to Gaborone, I came to learn of other brands as well. I realized if a brand is made in Gaborone, it will only be known by the locals of Gaborone. Francistown, same applies, right? Then I went on to do much research, and we came to learn that actually 25,000 African designers across Africa at large, they actually are facing the same problem. They remain unplatformed, and 70% of them either sell through WhatsApp, DMs, means which I believe all of us are accustomed to or have bought products for, right? And we went on to do much research and realized that the diaspora community, even Africans, they are looking to actually purchase these great African brands, but they don't have the means. And that's where we come in. We are Fusion Attire. We are the home of verified African fashion, and we give a platform that caters to both the African designers and the consumers. So we platform and verify the African designers. We platform them, verify them, and then we have them on our platform, and then we market their products, handle the shipping, payment receipts, both domestically and internationally. This serves both demographics. Currently, our platform is live. You can actually go on fusionattire.co.bw and you'll find product offerings on the site. We launched in Botswana, and in just 3 months that we launched, we have managed to attain 15,000 in sales. We have onboarded 15 vendors, 100 products listed on our site, and with zero marketing spend, have managed to have 3,500 users on our site, 60% of whom are international, which underscores our ethos, which is to actually bring the African designers on a global stage, make them competitive enough, right? And we managed to achieve those figures with our trusted partners. We have FedEx for all of our international shipments, Sprint Couriers, and DPO. They allow us to receive international payments. Now you might ask, how do we onboard these brands, right? We go to where they currently are selling. We go to Facebook. We go to the pop-up markets. We onboard them through organizations, building relationships with them. The vendors that we have on our platform are not just numbers. They're a community that you are building.
I mean, you do understand that, especially in Africa, a lot of people in the textiles, they are informal.
True. They very much are, right? And currently we charge 20% commission on all the sales we make, which incentivizes us to actually push more sales for the brands that we onboard, which would allow them to also have funds to scale. And we currently don't charge any hosting fees, because we believe, not that we won't be charging, but we believe in empowering the designers first and have them be able to afford to pay the hosting fees as time goes on. So we give them a grace period of 2 months where we generate sales for them, and then after 2 months they begin paying the hosting fees.
So it's free. So if I come tomorrow, I show you these are my clothes.
Yes.
I can be onboarded in you. It's free of.
Currently we onboard you, and we even take professional photos of your products.
Okay. And then you find the market, and then you get the 20%.
Yes, we are still at an early stage, so some of the means have to be to allow for smooth onboarding of brands.
Okay.
Yes.
Over to you.
Thank you very much, Thabang. That was a very solid pitch.
I appreciate it.
I think it was very, very clear, and I think it's a good value proposition. I think the world, more so Africans, are starting to take pride in being African and wear African clothes. I'm sure you've seen the movement of gentlemen wearing kaftans, which is more African. It's not necessarily just Nigerian or West African, but you see South Africans start to wear that as opposed to suits to represent being African, and there's pride in that. Right?
Precisely.
So I think where the world is moving from an Africa perspective around fashion, clothes, you see pride around wearing your beads and so on and so forth. So I think Africa to the world, more so around fashion, it's brilliant.
And I hope you hop on to get a piece for yourself.
I will definitely check it out. When you look at, since you mentioned it, I think Matloza is now in New York. They have a shop there. I looked at one of their pieces. I won't mention the price, but you see that the world is buying a lot of what Africa is making because it's vibrant and it's beautiful. Now, without me gushing about African fashion, let's get to the numbers, right? You spoke to a commission of around 20%, but within that 20%, I know the costs that come with photography, especially the crisp one that you see there, your overheads. How are you splitting that 20%? And remember, you have to incur the cost before and then the sale after. So my two questions are around, and by the way, I think this is a solid, brilliant idea. When you do your overheads, this is your photography, your HR people, everybody in your team to make sure that this happens, as well as hosting the platform fees, storage around those very HD pictures that I know that you put in there. What is funding that? And then does that 20% commission, is it enough to actually pay for all of that?
Yes.
Right. That's the first question.
Okay. That's a good question as well. And I will start by saying I've bootstrapped the entity up until where it is right now. And I like to say this a lot, that I'm a resourceful person. And as I'm talking about taking professional photos, as you will see as you get on the platform, we actually don't pay anything to get to take those photos, right? We happen to have a good relationship with the university Unipod, and they allow us to use their free facilities as such, right? And when it comes to, you might also ask about some of the fees and the likes. We have also spoken with DPO to waiver some of the fees and to cut down on the costs, right? So now they only charge us as and when a sale happens, right? And right now, we aren't yet focused on much profitability. There are ways we can make this profitable, certainly. But right now, we are looking to increase our product offerings and onboard more vendors, right? So even with the 20%, we don't charge for shipping locally. We embed the price of the shipping on the cost of the product.
On the 20%.
Yes, right. So that we can, because as you know, also the e-commerce usage in Botswana is very much low. So we are trying to smooth out the entry when it comes to the people as well, right? But there's very much lucrative ways of monetizing Fusion Attire and making it have money. But right now, I won't stand in front of you and be disingenuous enough to tell you that this is how we are monetizing, There are ways that we can monetize, that's granted. But right now, our focus is actually increasing products on our site, onboarding more brands, and then because as you know, as I just mentioned, we are not funded, I'm bootstrapping the entity, so we have to make the most of what we have.
Last question is around quality control, more so that I assume that you're not holding stock, right? Angel, I tell you that, you know what, I can make this, or I'm good for this. It's a little bit like YDE, what you're creating, but a digital YDE, yes. Right? So I tell you that I'm able to do this. A customer orders, you should be able to get it to the customer in record time, because ordinarily when you order something, you should. So how does that process flow? When do you keep stock of any of these entities or minimum stock levels to allow yourself the bandwidth to be able to deliver on time? Or once the order has been made, you go back to the supplier to say, make me this. How do the SLAs look like? Is it not going to impact on your brand if delivery is delayed? Because I'm not going to say anything about Baruki Babotswana, but you know what you know.
We know what we know, and you're actually right. One of the major hurdles when it comes to e-commerce is actually dealing with returns, and you by all means want to have less of those, right? That's why first on the brand side, we actually sit them down and implore them on the importance of maintaining a certain level of quality, and we have that embedded on the agreements that we sign with them, that a certain level of quality has to be maintained at all times, and we make it a point that every after a certain period we actually visit their facilities to look at the products that they have.
Well done, Tabang. But the biggest fear for investors is what you said around profitability. An investor needs to know that your mind is also very much attuned to not being a... Yes, please, right? You can push the brand so that we are proud as Africans, but if you're not making money, an investor, by virtue of being an investor, wants a particular return. It doesn't matter whether it's this year or next year, because there are long hauls, right, or long tranches of investment. But you kind of need to know at what point do you intend to break even. You know, at what point are you going to be profitable? And if you are profitable, at what margins are you profitable?